All right, so I'm gonna make this a series. So the first series in this video is about back. This one's about shoulders. No, we're really trying to build that V taper, right? Because you can have a back, you can have a tight waist, but if your frame still isn't like visible, it's because you're missing like cap shoulders. And it's funny because like even in my own current physique, the one thing I was always missing is I have good arms, I have good chest, I have good legs. But my shoulders and back was always like my lacking parts. So if you're anything like me, I want you guys to stay tuned and we're gonna talk about why a real V taper comes from a wide back and round delts. If you don't have none of those two things, your physique is gonna look awkward or flat. So anyway, one of my personal favorites. Unfortunately, I didn't record any of me doing this, but it's the lean way cable lateral raises. You're gonna see what I like to do currently for shoulders in this video, and then from there also I'm also gonna talk about a couple other exercises I like to do. I probably have it somewhere in my camera roll, but not like in this format in a sense. And right now, as you see me doing, this is for rear delts. That's also another muscle that like people like neglect on a daily basis. I feel like somehow in every video, I'm like my name should really be like real delt advocator because nobody actively like trains them for some reason, and I'm not sure why. As you can see, I have someone helping me who's been doing it a lot longer because a wise man learns from the mistakes of other wise men, right? So it's funny because one thing he also said is that like I always used to have this opinion that like you didn't need to go heavy to build lateral raises. Right now, as you know, as humans, we always like evolve when our opinions change. So at least for me, what I like to do full range of motion, then partials, and then I try not to swing because swinging really like defeats the purpose, and then you're gonna start using your traps and other parts of the muscle. So personally, if you ask me like which one do I like between cables and dumbbells, cables any day of the week. But sometimes I don't always bring my cable attachment with me, so I usually like dumbbells are fine. Like if you're able to build like a decent shelf, I feel like dumbbells are perfectly fine. Now I briefly mentioned real delts in the beginning, but real delts really complete that 3D look, which makes you look great and makes you look average. Keep the weight keep the weight light and the reps high. So like a perfect example is you could do 70 and then do anywhere between 15 to 20. I know, sounds like a lot, but trust me, this is something you need to do. Like most people's physique would look a lot better if they actively made an effort to train real delts, which they don't, unfortunately. And I was one of those people. So I don't want you guys to end up in my shoes. One of the best advices I can give you is make an effort to actively train your rear delts. Cable face pulls are great. Pec deck is great. Like all of that is great. Honestly, you don't really need much for rear delts. If you have like three staples, that's more than enough. Face pulls, the pec deck reverse, and you can use dumbbells. Now for this one, it's a little bit of a it's a I don't want to say it's a hot take, but for me personally, I feel like after a certain while, you shouldn't shoulder press. Now, granted, this is my opinion. Currently, June 2025. I might change my opinion a year from now, a couple months from now. I don't know personally, but at least for me, if you do any type of heavy bench, heavy dumbbells, heavy machines, or push-ups, I feel like your front delts are getting hit pretty heavy. So I don't personally think you need something like heavy. Like for example, as you see right now, I'm doing incline. Incline's probably my favorite way of doing my chest, honestly. Like I've been doing it for the last 3 years. So I feel like I have a pretty good front delt. So for me, I don't really shoulder press anymore. Not to say that I can't, not to say that you shouldn't. I feel like overhead is still beneficial, especially if you're trying to like build up your bench. But at least for me, I don't really like I don't do it unless like I'm doing it with my friends or something. Just because like I feel like for you, like if you do shoulder press, you can or if you do incline press, you can do like a high incline or machine. And you like so a perfect example is like incline, right? You have 15 degrees, you have 30 degrees, and you have 45 degrees. The higher you go, the more shoulder activation you're gonna end up using. So at least for me, I feel like a perfect spot for try to activate your chest is 30. 45, you're gonna use more of your shoulders. So at least for me, what I like to do is I like to just do 30 or 45 depending. And that's what I like to do. This is just my opinion though. I always tell people I feel like you never really know something unless you actively try to experience it yourself. So, long story short, what this video basically encompasses, you want to train shoulders 2 to 3 times a week. You want to have one controlled lateral a day. I don't know. I had a brain fart right there. Don't mind me. You want to do one rear, one pump. You can either add them in your push and pull sessions, or you can have a whole entire session for it, which is what I do currently. I like to do like what I used to do. I like to do shoulders and arms, or I'd like to do like in the beginning. Because one thing too, this is another tip, right? What I recently started doing, I like to train my weakest muscle first. So if like in this case, we're talking about shoulders. I would train shoulders first because that's probably your weakest muscle. And this is just some other free tips you can use. Learn how to like pose. If bodybuilding is something you actually want to do, I feel like it's important to like have a mind muscle connection with your lats, your shoulders, and everything else. But if this helps, let me know. So I just had something came to mind, so I'll just make this quick. So this is like future George coming in to help. So don't let shoulders be the reason why you have like I don't want to say a weak physique, but like your weak is lacking, right? Train smart, hit your angles, be consistent. You build a physique that you want long term, right? Anyway, I don't want to stay too long. If this helped you guys, I appreciate you guys for listening so long, and I hope you guys have a good one.